Don't let her get away, Mommy. Don't let her live.
I won't, Jason. I won't.
Now I have a story that I'd like to tell about this guy you all know. He has me scared as hell. He comes to me at night after I crawl into bed. He's burnt up like a weenie and his name is Fred. He wears the same hat and sweater every single day. And even if it's hot outside, he wears it anyway. He's gone when I'm awake, but he shows up when I'm asleep. I can't believe that there's a nightmare on my street. It was a Saturday evening, if I remember it right, and we had just gotten back off tour last night. So the gang and I thought that it would be groovy if we summoned up the posse and dumb rushed the movies. I got Angie, Jeff got Tina, Reddy Rock got some girl I've never seen in my life. That was alright because the lady was chill. Then we dipped to the theater set to film. We saw Elm Street and man, it was death. And everything seemed alright when we left. But when I got home and laid down to sleep, that began the nightmare, but on my street. It was burning in my room like an oven. My bed so was sweat and man, I was bugging. I checked the clock, it had stopped at 12:30. It had melted, it was so darn hot, and I was thirsty. I went downstairs to grab some juice or a Coke, flipped the TV off, and then I almost choked when I heard this awful voice coming from behind. It said, man, I ain't even wait to see who it was. Broke outside in my drawers and screamed so long, cuz got halfway up the block, I calmed down and stopped screaming, then thought, oh, I get it, I must be dreaming. I strolled back home with a grin on my grill. I figured since this is a dream, I might as well get ill. I walked in the house, the big bad Fresh Prince, but Freddy killed all that noise real quick. He grabbed me by my neck and said, here's what we'll do. We got a lot of work here, me and you. The souls of your friends, you and I will claim. You got the body and I got the brain. I said, yo, Fred, I think you got me all wrong. I ain't partners with nobody with nails that long. Look, I'll be honest, man, this team won't work. The girls won't be on you, Fred, your face is all burnt. I pat him on the shoulder, said thanks for stopping by. Then I opened up the door and said, take care, guy. He got mad, drew back his arm and slashed my shirt. I laughed at first and thought, hold up, that hurt. It wasn't a dream, man, this guy was for real. I said, Freddy, Hal, it's been an awful mistake here. No further words, and then I darted upstairs. Crashed through my door, then jumped on my bed. Pulled the covers up over my head, said, oh, please do something with Fred. He jumped on my bed, ripped through the covers with his claws, tried to get me. But my alarm went off, and then silence. It was a whole new day. I thought, I wasn't scared of him anyway, until I noticed those rips in my sheets, and that was proof that there had been a nightmare on my street. Come on, Jeff, answer it! Come on, man.
Hello?
Jeff, it's Prince, man. Jeff, wake up. Jeff, wake up.
What do you want?
Jeff, wake up, man. Listen to me, Jeff.
It's 3 o'clock in
Jeff,
the morning.
listen,
What
Jeff,
do you
would you
want?
listen to me? Whatever you do, don't fall asleep. Jeff, listen to me. Don't go to
I'll
sleep,
talk to
Jeff.
you tomorrow.
Jeff,
I'm going
Jeff.
to bed.
Jeff, 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 answer me, Jeff.
I'm your DJ now, crazy.
Yeah, I forgot. I didn't time the song right. God damn it. Hey, everybody. Good morning. We got a threefer to help celebrate the big old moon out there. Started off with one of my favorite movie themes, very underappreciated, very underrated. From a little series of films by Full Moon Studios. A little thing entitled Puppet Master. And that's Charles Band. Good song. Then we flowed that over into some type of Scandinavian metal from a band called Frightmare. And that was their version of Friday the 13th, apparently. And we finished it off, of course, with a little Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff. Yeah, that's right. Before he was Will Smith, he was the Fresh Prince. And that was a little Nightmare on My Street. So yeah, there you go. 3 different ones. Just ranging the whole spectrum. From melodic to metal to rap. Rap. So yeah. So that's yeah. I even came up with special graphics tonight. I am hoping. I know that Kadanti's not been feeling well lately, but she's going to. She said if she can, she's going to try to make an appearance. And that being the case, I'm just going to be acting like Led Zeppelin and just rambling on. It's getting close to my favorite time of the year. I think I have no doubt my favorite holiday is still Halloween, but we're not to All Hallows Eve yet. But tonight is the harvest moon. Of course, so named because basically when they were trying to clear crops before they got the first bad bitter frost, the last big full moon, they would try to get everything harvested. Hence, harvest moon. There you go. How's that for? Yeah, that's your trivia for the day. But yeah, I had fun today knowing that it was Friday the 13th and it was a harvest moon. Those are kind of rarities. So I did make up some special graphics just for this evening. As you can see, we got the new opening screen. It's a one shot. We'll probably bring it back during Halloween, but as far as it goes right now, yeah, not a bad thing to test out for right now. I was trying to think if anything really happened today before I flip over, before I do the good mornings. I'll be honest with you, no, nothing. Nothing big happened. I watched a lot of videos about choosing beggars. Got exposed to that's the closest that you'll see me ever coming to Reddit, is having somebody do a video about a Reddit forum, because I'm pretty sure that Reddit is pretty fucking toxic. You know, at least with like 4chan or 8chan, people think that they're being funny, whereas, you know, people are doing the, you won't believe this story that happened to me. Yeah, we won't believe it because you made it up. It's pretty easy. Or like when they're like, I swear the story is true. This happened to me. You know, there's a thing when karmic justice comes around. It's very rare, and it's not very often. Got some ice water. So yeah, I mean, this is basically people writing stories. I swear this happened to me. It's like Penthouse Forum, except like PG. So yeah, there you go. And of course, if anybody is around in the Dick Horde, feel free to drop by. I don't know if is there anybody else broadcasting right now? Let me see. Yeah, Sparky's up and running. And Joke is up and running. Is Doomcock still running? Jesus fuck Doomcock. Oh no, he's done. Yeah, he was putting in a marathon tonight. He was doing a lot of information came down about Star Wars and Star Trek. And if you guys don't know who Victor Van Doomcock is, he's on the channel Overlord DVD. And yeah, DVD, Victor Van Doomcock. So there you go. Yeah, he along with Midnight's Edge, they've got their spies. And so if you're looking for any type of geek news like that, they're a pretty damn good source. So I personally recommend them. I follow them. I am subbed. Then again, you know, I'm just that much of a degree of a geek. So let's see. Ugh. With a cancer stick pursed between my lips, let's do some good morning, shall we? Good morning, Victor Rand. Good morning, Anu Vlad. Good morning, Ghost Dog 999, one of our immortals. Good morning, Buzz of the Hive. Good morning, Sir Adamantine. Good morning, Fat Andy. Good morning, Jermio6. Good morning, Evil Dead Ed. Good morning, Detroit. Good morning, Wikipedia Snippet. And wait a minute, Eddie Money died today? I got 2 tickets to the other side. Wait a minute, did he die? Really? I thought he was dead a long time ago. Yeah, he died on Friday the 13th. No, wait, here, let me flip over so you guys can take a look at the themed screen. There you go. I like it. I did it, so I kind of liked it. Let's see, what did he die of? He died from complications of esophageal cancer at age 70. Dude, 70 years. That's still a lot of time to ride off of like 3 fucking hits for your whole career. But yeah, I can't say that he's bad. He didn't suck. There are people out there who legitimately suck. But yep, ladies and gentlemen, Edward Joseph Mahoney, R.I.P. Hey, he had more top 40 songs and platinum albums than I ever had. So, yeah, we'll give him some love. So, yes, this is the this is my This is my Harvest Moon, my Friday the 13th screen. I want to make it all blood red because that just would have, Good morning to Orla Seraph. I see you just went into the back door. I don't know. Actually, I kind of like the song "Shaken," even though it was like a Jewish guy with a weird face, like he had a stroke, even when he was younger. But yeah, "Shaken." That was probably my favorite. I wasn't a fan of "Take Me Home Tonight." And if you were alive anytime when Two Tickets to Paradise was popular, they just played the shit out of it, and it was horrible. It's just one of those where you just get burnt out. Did you get burned out? Wait, you weren't even alive then, Kadant, were you?
It doesn't mean I can't get burned out on songs that played repeatedly.
Yeah.
There's a few songs that I can listen to over and over and over again. That I absolutely adore. And it's just like fucking A, right? That's my jam, kind of thing. Two Tickets to Paradise was not one of them. Did you already do the good mornings?
I did.
Okay, sup, bitches. And also, we have somebody in the waiting room, right?
No, because I've been flipping back and forth reading about Ed Mahoney. Because, Eddie Money, he cashed in his chips.
I mean, he died on the spooky night of spooky.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. There was a Harvest Moon. Did you get to see the? I don't know if I showed you the start screen, did I?
No, I don't think you did. I've been pretty out of it all day today. I mean, you may have. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't think I did because I kind of cobbled it real quick. And yes, a wild Kadant appears.
Sup, bitches.
Good morning, Ed.
Morning. How's everyone doing today?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing much better than Eddie Money, apparently.
Yes, and no offense, Doc. I know he's a great musician, had a lot of good tunes, but from my childhood, as my actual name being Ed, as a younger man being Eddie, I never want to hear the words Eddie Money again, Ed, and Eddie, or Ed Spaghetti, or Special Ed.
Although that was a good song by Stephen Lynch. Oh no, that was Special Fred.
Mm-hmm. Special
I like that one.
Mama dropped him on his head. Yeah.
Now, wait a minute. No. Tom Petty died like 2 years ago, didn't he?
Yeah,
almost.
Overdose, I believe.
Almost 2 years exactly. He died October 2nd, 2017. So yeah, just a little bit of time off. I have no idea why Victor Rand is yelling buttered toast.
Because
Ed, Eddie.
Yeah. He's single. There's Ed, there's Double D, and then there's Eddie. And Ed was the retarded one who would be like, buttered toast. Pet the chicken, Ed. That kind of thing.
I'll be honest. I never when it got to that point in Cartoon Network, I'd kind of given up on them because that was the same time they were doing, I think, like Cat Dog. And
yeah,
and the only thing I was watching was Toonami at night when they were doing reruns of Cowboy Bebop, which I still kind of like Cowboy Bebop. It doesn't translate very well, but I still liked it.
Oh, Cowboy Bebop's a classic. You ever seen Samurai Champloo from the same guy who made Cowboy Bebop.
I have not.
You should check it out. The only difference is instead of the English version of Cowboy Bebop, they keep saying jazz even though it's blues, which I always find that funny. But it's basically like samurais and hip hop, but it translates really well. It was a good anime for what it is. Very short series.
I've yet to meet a single person who doesn't like Cowboy Bebop.
Because it's stylish. It's techno noir. I mean, it was pretty cool. Nobody else was really doing that at the time when it came out. So I technically would call it groundbreaking.
It's like Akira. Everyone likes Akira.
Dude, you have to be really high for Akira. Because, like, when the guy starts turning into whatever the fuck he starts turning into at the very end.
When Tetsuo starts turning into what they called Akira.
Yeah,
Yes.
Gelatinous blob.
Yeah. I mean, it's technically Akira's like the Citizen Kane of anime. Because
But it was like more about the visuals of that movie, though. Early anime released to the U.S. The visuals are great.
Same with Metropolis. It was groundbreaking and fucking gorgeous. It was so stunning.
Wait a minute, you mean the one that Fritz Lang did back in the 20s?
No, the anime Metropolis.
Oh, because I would say that anime that, or excuse me, the actual movie that they did, it was done by a German impressionist director, and that thing is just for what they did in the 20s with it. It was fucking gorgeous.
I have not seen either, so I have to check both of those out.
Let me see if I can just get a picture of it. I think it was, it's Fritz Lang. I will no context tweet a picture of it, and it was 1927.
Yeah, 2001 is the anime.
Yeah. Oh well, I like that one too. It's really hard to find shit that is visually stunning anymore, because a lot of people are kind of like played out. You can do pretty much anything and everything nowadays. Anything you can think of, as long as you have the time and ILM, you can pretty much make anything come to life. But I will no context tweet this. This is a picture of a scene from the 1927 Metropolis, and good God, they pulled out every kind of trick on that.
I'll post the anime then.
I'm just trying to find a good one from.
Oh, okay. I've seen this image before. This is from the 1920s.
Yeah.
That's some great special effects, especially during the 20s.
Yeah, they legitimately etched the plates, etched the film to do some of the animation effects on it. The only thing I'm coming up with, Kadant, is is just the fucking cover.
I posted a GIF.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know we could post GIFs. I'm new to this whole.
It's still a tweet.
I'm new to this whole Twitter thing.
So I'm guessing it's like in both movies, it's kind of like you have androids or cyborgs trying to live as humans, right? Or am I completely off base?
Essentially, a professor creates. A mad scientist creates. He takes a robot and makes it a woman, and things just go fucking downhill from there. But it's German stuff. Here, I'll go ahead and do the transformation scene. There it goes. Woohoo! I do gifts and stuff. Okay, so I should mention that today is Turish's 4th day. Now he's already part of the Hall of the Immortals, the bloody Hall of the Immortals now. And now he's already one of the Immortals, but if he can rally and make everything go until if he can get 10 days under his belt, then he becomes the GOAT, the greatest of all time. So that's how our boss battles go. That's how that shit happens. And did you notice I changed the capitalized wrench no state too?
Yeah.
I made it all bloody and made them red wrenches. Because I thought that was cool. But I still think the funniest thing is the fucking hug box.
Well, since Friday the 13th, it should be now called the Hellbox.
It is.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Awesome.
if you take a look at the graphic, yeah, it's now the Hellbox. And smiley face guy's got a knife. A bloody knife. Oh, good morning, Trouble Turtle.
Hi, Trouble.
Um,
Here, I'm posting one of the transformation scenes from the anime.
Oh, that's cool as hell, Doc. I just now seen that.
there's some beautiful stuff.
But I'm still blown away from that's coming from the 1920s with that GIF you posted. That's
Yeah.
That's high end. That's high end graphics back then.
Oh yeah, I mean it was mind blowing. A lot of the shit that they did at that point, they started kind of drafting people, because Fritz Lang was more like a German impressionist. So he was more bound by visuals and shit, and this was pretty much kind of the heyday. This is where when Universal started all their fun stuff. But this basically was something to point out that yeah, you could do. I hate to sound haughty and say a higher art form, but yeah, they were doing quite a bit more to expand on the on what could be put on screen.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna have to check out both of these. Actually, that put me in a better mood. I was just about to come in and rant about Beto or work, but now I don't feel like doing that.
Oh yeah, both of them are worth it.
Take my mind off reality for a second.
Oh yeah, I mean there's and I would say probably the Metropolis robot is probably one of the coolest robots that ever graced science fiction.
I always dig the retro design when it comes to robots and things like that. But I just got done watching. I forget what the movie's called, but it takes place in the '60s, where like the big head guys.
Wait, which one?
I forget what it's called. It's not like a dollar store I bought, but it's like a classical sci-fi movie where like these two aliens come down and they're just like leagues above mankind, but they look like humanoids and they got these two big ass heads.
It's not ringing a bell.
Yeah, I wish I had more information on it. I watched it the other day while little bit doing what I do, so I don't remember to boast of it. I've seen the gifs of it over and over again. It was like one of those dollar store buys you can get. You get like 100 fucking old school horror movies, like $10.
Oh yeah, it's funny because Jack T. Ripper sent me a thing that has like 50. Most of them are all black and white. It's one of those things where they found a shit ton that were in public domain. So I've been like watching like one movie a day. I just watched Dementia 13. today, and it's like,
How was that?
shit. It's a shit movie. But I mean, you know, they tried. It's like people keep saying, you know, since it is Harvest Moon and Friday the 13th, one of the ones I've never figured out was Carnival of Souls. Because goddamn, did that movie bored the piss out of me. And
I can't say I've seen it.
well, you can
But
guess.
I will say, Doc, I like your new graphics as I've seen an image of Bruce Campbell pop up over IRS the 13th, and it just feels right. It just feels right.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because when nobody talks, the heads go away, and it's just the Jason mask laying in the grass.
Yeah, I noticed that earlier. That's a nice graphic. You should definitely reuse that for Halloween.
Oh, I don't know. I think I have to have Kadun's input on what the Halloween show is going to look like. But technically, well, wait a minute. I have to take a look here. Go down. October 31st is a Thursday. Now, I do have to say this. I have something a little more important to do, but it all depends on what Wifey's up to, because that will be our 11-year anniversary.
Oh, congrats, man. Congrats.
I said, there's no fucking way I'm ever going to get married again unless it's going to be done on Halloween so we can have a costume party and just get rip-roaring drunk. And we did.
Jesus, Doc, that's a genius idea. I'm going to have to do that.
Oh, yeah, I dressed up. She dressed up as a fairy, and I dressed up as a prisoner of love, complete with, like, the old 1920s striped jumpsuit.
Ball and chain and everything?
Well, actually, I came handcuffed, and when they pronounced this man and wife, I broke out of the cuffs and dipped her and gave her a kiss, and then she attached the ball and chain to my ankle.
I was about to be like, Doc, we don't need to know about the wedding night details. How did you arrive at the wedding, though?
Well, you know, we
Get it?
got
You know,
Chain,
Doc,
handcuff.
you just gave me the best idea,
I'm
man.
hilarious.
You just gave me the best idea to do this because I'm actually engaged. We have not started like eating the processes of it, and my first plan was like pick the most horrible thing I could possibly, so I wouldn't have to have anything to do with the planning. But now you just gave me a good idea, and we'll have to push that.
Oh, by the way, good morning, Jen Max. Which I kind of got to thinking about it, and Wifey and I were talking today because, of course, invariably Friday the 13th came up, and she thinks it's a shitty bunch of movies. And I'm like, well, you know, Friday the 13th is popcorn fare. I mean, there's 11 of them, for God's sake. Well, technically 12 with the reboot, but I don't count that one. That one was shit. But yeah, I mean, basically that's when the splatter genre started, all the way back in 1980.
Yeah, they're all pretty they're all watchable. Like I might disagree with the reboot. Like the reboot's all right in my opinion, but one I could not stand was when Jason was in space and you had like Cyborg Jason.
You know what? That was the ultimate. As far as where else could they go? And yeah, they went into space. Hey, at least his first kill was director David Cronenberg.
Oh, was it the director?
Yeah, no, he didn't direct the film, but he came in just because he was friends with the guy who was directing, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to be killed?" And Cronenberg's like, "Hell yes, I do." So, yeah.
Well, I'm just going to rudely intrude here.
Well, good morning, Vlad. How are you?
Tired.
Well, you know, it's one of
Yeah,
those.
I need to.
Go
I
ahead.
think I'm going to get drunk now. That's what I think I'm going to do.
Mm.
Sounds fun.
No, I do like Jason X because I mean, when they turn into Cyborg Jason, it's just I don't know. I laughed. I laughed through a lot of that movie.
It was better than Leprechauns in the Hood. I have to give it that much.
Well, and well, you know, the Leprechaun went into space too.
Oh my god!
Fuck,
Wait,
for
what?
real?
Yes,
Wait, what?
yes. For the Leprechaun movies.
Yeah, oh yeah. To be fair, I've only saw up to the black people one, and that was it.
Oh, that was what was that? 3? Or no, wait a minute.
Around there.
No, no, because they did a. I'm trying to remember because Jennifer Aniston was in the first Leprechaun, and then there was Leprechaun 2, which was uneventful, and then oh god, I'm gonna have to look this up, but I think Leprechaun in Space was number 4.
Huh.
I'm pretty sure. Let me take a
I
look.
feel
here.
ashamed of myself for not knowing this.
Did he
I really
meet?
do.
That fucking thing has had 8 movies? Holy shit. Because there's Leprechaun, Leprechaun 2, Leprechaun 3, Leprechaun 4 in Space, then Leprechaun in the Hood, then Leprechaun Back to the Hood, then Leprechaun Origins, and then Leprechaun Returns.
Leprechaun
Didn't they
Origins is
make
absolute
another
shit.
Leprechaun? Didn't they make another Leprechaun movie trying to revitalize that series or whatever?
Yeah.
Reboot it?
Yeah, last year they did Leprechaun Returns.
Oh, that was it? Okay, I've never seen it.
Hey,
I
talk
haven't-
about horror movies. You want to see the new It yet? And how it's already trying to be canceled?
No. No,
Okay, well,
I think I'm okay with it. I think I'm okay
I'm
with
on
not
that
seeing it.
whole, like, I'm on that whole like it's not Tim Curry, so I don't care thing.
I'm taking the girl to see it. Simple date night tomorrow. But like I've been reading about it, and like one aspect. Okay, spoiler alert. I'm sorry, it's brand new. If anyone wants to see it or anything like that, but it sticks true to some of the work from Stephen King's book, where it shows up and kills 2 gay dudes.
Oh,
So like
okay,
all
I'm
the
gonna
gays
do
are
that.
pissed off about that right now.
and by the way, Addie is right. Hellraiser did go into space too. Pinhead, because the descendant of the guy who was Pinhead figured the only way to stop the evil was to take a space station and like a transformer and turn it into a lament cube. By the way, if you guys are interested, they do have a DVD box set called the Leprechaun Pot of Gore collection.
Really?
And
I'll have to get that.
and with the exception of the reboot, Warwick Davis played all of them. But in the last 2, Leprechaun Origins and Leprechaun Returns, it was played by the wrestler who played Hornswoggle in the WWE.
I knew that, yeah.
So you can tell already that's going to be bad because there's no pedigree there. Warwick Davis was
The
a fucking
original
Ewok. God damn it.
Hold
Now,
on,
the
hold
original
on.
Leprechaun was from Willow, right? The same guy, right?
Yeah, Warwick
Yes.
Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't like Hornswoggle?
Well,
I don't
huh?
know who Hornswoggle is.
Wait, but you don't like Hornswoggle?
No, it was a fucking shitty writer's tool. And every time he came up, I knew it was going to be more waste of my fucking time.
Nah.
So is he like a midget wrestler?
Oh yeah, he is. As a matter of fact, here I will post a picture of Hornswoggle.
Did you ever like? He's actually the biggest shit talker I've ever seen.
Oh,
Like, and what
he's-
I mean by that
Oh,
is, I mean, off camera. Like, he will sit there and just talk shit.
Oh, he's an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
He used to be in God, what was it called? Bloody Midget Wrestling.
Oh, God.
Which was just basically like hardcore. But yeah, here's a picture of Hornswoggle. By the way, if those of you are not familiar with the No Context tweets, then right there, since I've been shadow banned on Der Twatters as well as the YouTubers, right there is the link in the descriptor. You can jump right over, take a look at the pictures that we're posting.
Well, I have some good news.
Oh God, look at him. He looks like he's just full of shit. All 2 feet 5 inches of him.
Yeah, he is full of shit. By the way, good morning, Derek Folmes, and good morning, Gaming and Yelling. I'm surprised Gaming and Yelling hasn't popped in.
Well, I have some good news.
Okay, are you pregnant?
Almost.
Okay.
I have been officially indefinitely suspended from Twitter.
Wasn't it 9/11 tweets? Did you piss off people?
Probably. I don't know. Dude, I get away with so much fucking shit. Like, or not get away with, but I say so much shit. Like, I don't know why they suspended me. They never said. And I'm like, but they just indefinitely removed my account pretty much. I mean, there was 1 week where I said nothing but racial slurs for like a week straight in tweets. So like, it could have been one of those.
Well, I mean, if that's
Which account though?
My main account.
somebody sent me a message request. I don't have it now, but it was a female avatar, and I don't remember what the name was. But I went to take a look, and this account was suspended. Speaking of suspensions.
Yeah, well, the thing is with the 9/11 thing too, like, I was being a little bit on the edgy side, but I had an underlying point, and just nobody was willing to see the point. It was kind of funny. But, it was just, like the point is, like, I look at it this way, and a lot of people thought I would be mad about it, and I'm really not. I think every single one of my suspensions I've ever had, I've deserved 100%.
Okay then.
I understood your point with the 9/11 tweets, and I actually agreed with you because you only ever hear about 9/11 if they're not just like teaching about it in school or whatever, if they're not bringing it up during like a certain, like during Memorial Day or Veterans Day or anything, or some sort of holiday, whatever. But other than that, like,
did Ed fall out?
people will just thoughts and prayers, right? That's all it's about.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
I tell you, 9/11 proved to me how big a scumbags that humanity can be. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because at the time, there was over 3,500 people who died when the buildings went down. Well, they were pinning up on like bulletin boards and kiosks about information about, have you seen this person? Have you seen this person? Father, brother, sister, mother, son, daughter, whatever it was. They were desperate. And there were people who went around and got the information and would call these people up and try to bilk them for money. Either in donations or saying, hey, we can search for them. It'll only cost like this amount of money. But they were running scams on these people.
Yep.
Scumbags.
Yeah. I mean, that's messed up. I didn't even know about that. But no, I mean, all I was trying to get at, ultimately was the difference between sympathy and caring. That was like all the like I can hate somebody's guts and feel sorry for them at the same time, and like like just not care about their existence and still feel sympathy, right? And I was trying like my ultimate point I was trying to make, and I made it once right before I got suspended. There are an estimated 400,000 people that are still that were exposed to a lot of the harmful chemicals that expended out of the buildings, like asbestos, whenever they blew up.
Oh yeah. We talked about that last night, but go ahead.
Yeah. And so I was talking about how like there's all that, right? And there are currently several thousand that are currently diagnosed with mesothelioma as a direct result as well. And there's all of these things that people are trying to do to get hope for them through the government, etc. And it's upsetting to me that you'll see people on Twitter virtue signal 9/11 with hashtags and stuff, but make zero efforts to so much as even tweet about the people that are still suffering as a result. There's 300 million people that can't even help or don't even apparently, they feel sympathy, but they don't care enough to actually help those that are still afflicted. Like, and the biggest point that I made ultimately was that, we all united during 9/11 for war, but we can't all unite together for aid for those that are currently still afflicted by it. And apparently I'm supposed to believe that these people tweeting it also care. So here's my point. If that's caring, I want nobody caring for me.
Well, and also, the amazing wonder of it all is, they've turned it into a memorial. But if you actually do want to go visit whatever Freedom Tower it is, then you better get your wallet out. Because that's going to cost you money.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I was gonna say that's all it's ever really about. Like everybody can be like, "Oh, this was such a terrible tragedy. Oh, we need to remember," and blah 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 blah. And then, at the same time, like, sure, this was something that we were all able to see, but we're all also able to see like the homeless vets on the fucking streets. And half the time people just kind of like look away, or they just kind of ignore, or whatever. Or, oh, sure, here's some change, here's $1 for penance, and blah 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 blah. And then on top of all that, there's always those people who are out there trying to get donations and shekels and blah 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 blah, whatever it is. Nobody really goes and does anything on any side. Like,
yeah.
It doesn't matter. Thoughts and prayers. Oh, here on my Facebook page, here's a nice little filter that has the American flag on it, or I'm gonna post a little thing saying I remember. Yeah, I fucking remember. I got woken up by my mom because my dad was like, I might wind up getting drafted. We might be going to war because of this. And he was a former Marine.
Well,
and so he's like, I might have to go back. And so we're just like, oh, okay. And then in school, I remember when I went into class, I was a freshman.
And this is funny. What Victor just said is something that I've heard like several times. And this is like people are talking about like blank checks or whatever. I'm not talking about necessarily paying out any money. Most of the things I came up with were either near free or completely, like writing a congressman for help, or fucking making. I just said earlier, making tweets showcasing these people that are afflicted, these foundations, or making a GoFundMe yourself.
Well,
which is completely free.
Well, but here's another thing. Here, I'll throw another log onto the fire. Do you remember? This was, I think, in the it's like 2013 or 2014. They found out that there were over 100 ex-cops and firefighters that filed disability. because of 9/11 and got it, and they proved that this was big news. I think it was like 2014, somewhere around there, that they got hundreds of millions of dollars in disability insurance, because they were allowed to retire early. And I mean, yeah, the New York Post and I think the New York Daily News ran a big thing on it, and that's what helped to fuck over all the people who started coming down with the mesothelioma, because they were just like, oh well, these guys scammed us, so fuck the rest of these guys, they're probably scamming us too. And people were legitimately dying. It wasn't, oh, okay, I can't work anymore, now I'm riding around on my jet ski. It was like people hooked up, you know, to breathing machines, and you know, they can't walk anymore. There was a big thing with advanced stage Alzheimer's, as well. People getting brain damage off of this, and so yeah, once again, man's inhumanity to man. These guys saw a way, you know, over 100 people, you know, they filed disability and they got it, and then it fucked over all the other people who, you know, once again, they've been fighting for it forever. You know, people who just got caught down when the buildings went down. And I know you guys have seen the pictures, that big, huge rolling cloud of dust when the first building went down. Yeah, that wasn't pixie dust. That wasn't fairy dust. No, I mean that was asbestos and pulverized concrete going into their lungs.
Yeah, and I want to point out something that Orla Seraph said, because that's I gotta point out a couple things to make things clear. First off, there were a lot of people after 9/11 happened that joined the military and, you know, and all that. I'm not saying the general populace doesn't care, you know. I'm just talking about mostly a lot of the people on social media, like, are just pretending to give a fuck, and just like I'm momentarily sympathetic for like one day out of the year, and therefore I care. You know, there are people that join the military because of that shit, and good. That's a form of actually helping.
Well,
whatever. Like,
well, I'm not gonna say who posted it, but somebody tweeted, I wasn't alive when the towers went down, but it still had an impact on me.
Yeah.
Did it? Did it really?
Well,
fucking
no. In a way, yes, it did. For just because if you're trying to take a flight, you've noticed a lot of things have changed from before. You know, you have to go through a whole different like set of security. And so for those who weren't born when it happened, you know, there is a slight impact on them. There's always going to be that kind of butterfly effect. But that's still, I get what your point is, but at the same time, like, you can't just shrug at these kids just because they're kids and they're saying that kind of stuff. Like, no, there's no real emotional impact or anything like that.
Well, society had changed. It's just like, I'm not going to say how old I am, but I was not alive when Kennedy took a bullet to his head. Now, that changed society quite a bit, because it showed that even the guy who was working the highest office in the nation could be taken out. But of course, it had some type of societal impact. But as far as personal impact, it had none of that. I mean, okay, to set it up, it was like my day off, I think, and I got a call from my ex-codependent at the time, because she wanted to talk about her birthday was the next day, was on the 12th, and she wanted to know what we were going to do for her birthday. So that's what I thought the call was. And she woke me up at like a little bit before like 9. And she's just like, turn on CNN. And I'm like, why? Are they having you a birthday parade or what the fuck? No, turn on CNN. And so they turned on CNN. I did. And I'm sitting there watching. And I'm like, what the why is that Twin Tower smoking? And she was like, well, because a plane just ran into it. And I'm like, really? And I was sitting there and I was watching it and I was kind of half listening to the TV and kind of half listening to her. And I was like, oh, and I saw the plane fly into the building. And I was like, oh yeah, they just showed a replay. And she's like, what do you mean they showed a replay? Nobody got footage of it. And I was like, I just saw a plane go into one of the buildings. And she was like, that's another plane. And I'm just like, what the serious fuck? I mean, I was stunned. And then, the report came in about the Pentagon, and then the one that went down in Pennsylvania. And I'm like, holy fucking shit. I have no idea.
I was like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like today, I've been called cold like several times, and when the foot was really cold anyway, But I mean, my initial reaction when I saw 9/11, man, was just, I think a lot of people agree with this, but it was pure wrath, like just simple vengeance. You know what I mean? Like, and a wish that I could have joined the military kind of at the time. Like, I already wanted to join the military anyway, but I was like 12. So, but no, I mean, I was angry. And, and this is what I said on Twitter. I said, I don't care about the people that died, like specifically like the dead, because I think it's useless to care about the dead specifically. It doesn't help the dead. It doesn't help the families to be sympathetic toward the dead. Like what should be important right now isn't the dead people. And this is the part that bothers me the most. Is like everybody says hashtag we'll never forget 9/11 as if it's over. Like technically it's not over. There's still people suffering from it. I care more about the people dying than the people that died.
Well, Jon Stewart made it a personal crusade. And he's been in front of Congress like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Since it's happened. And I mean, if you guys ever want to look up his last appearance in front of the Senate committee on it, that is a picture of a man who is angry and defeated at the same time. Because he's like, I don't know what else the fuck I can tell you people.
Thoughts and prayers.
People are dying.
Nobody cares about people dying. Are you serious? Like, it's as simple as nobody fucking cares about people dying. Otherwise, people would be screaming for some semblance of reform in just healthcare services that we currently have. Like, they'd be screaming about why is it there are certain people who can't get the care that they need. And I'm not talking about the broke people or the illegal immigrants, because I already know where y'all stand on that. But I'm talking about, the ones who are working their fucking asses off, and there's nothing that they can't afford to go and see the expensive fucking doctors or get the expensive fucking treatment, because it's ridiculous.
Well, you're talking
absolutely ridiculous.
Well, you're talking about like catastrophic.
Nobody cares about the dying. Nobody cares about the sick. Nobody cares about anybody else. They'll just put out thoughts and prayers, because that's all they're like, oh, you're in my thoughts. Oh, here's a prayer for you. Blah, blah, blah. No, do something. If you really want it to change, do something. If you really
Otherwise, it's
want to
shitty.
do something to help, then fucking do something.
Well,
Don't just be like, oh well, I'm so sorry, that you're going through all this shit, and that just getting an EpiPen, getting a fucking EpiPen is expensive. It is ridiculously expensive.
well, I'm telling you, it's I agree with you as far as catastrophic healthcare goes. I think that's something that really should be looked into.
I think looking into fixing the fucking VA needs to happen.
Well, a lot of the people who go through the doors at VA need catastrophic health care. I mean, there's a shit ton of people suffering from PTSD, and I will not give a vet shit when they have PTSD, because most of the time they deal with it. They don't use it as an excuse. They don't use it as a Girl Scout badge of honor. They're really incredibly embarrassed about it, and they don't want to be seen as being weak. But something rocks your head. You live in a time of war. You see a lot of death and destruction. I had the interview that I did with Tennessee Marine for Doctor on Call, and he was talking about when he just basically, saw dead kids when he was down when he was deployed down in Central America, and there's nothing he could do a fucking thing about. You don't think that you would not personally have PTSD if you had to deal with shit like that? I mean, yeah, I think VA should have been reformed a whole fucking long time ago.
I think on the dead kids thing, before I had a kid, I would have probably said, nope, I think I'd be fine. And then having a kid is just like a whole separate reality for me.
Mm-hmm.
By the way,
hi gaming and yelling.
yes, I said hi to Gaming when he came in.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
I didn't hear you.
You were stuffing your face with something. You must not have heard me.
Well, when I was not in the actual stream, maybe.
By the way, good morning in the chat to Zell. Good morning to Tom Leach. And good
Hey, Zell.
morning, Michael Hatfield.
Hi, Michael Hatfield.
Good morning, humans.
Yeah, but it just
No,
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead,
no,
Kanan.
you're fine. I just, let alone the PTSD. That's a whole nother issue, because I could rant and rave, I'm sure, about the amount of reform needed in the mental health care services alone. Just as an overall in general, because too quick. I've known way too many people who I think I had at least a decent therapist, because he took his time with me instead of just being like, oh, okay, well, here's some pills. This is if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. He didn't try and use me as too much of a guinea pig until after he came to a general diagnosis. But there's too many therapists who be like, oh, you're depressed. All right, here's this, because guess what? Those pills equal money.
Oh yeah.
It does. There's no, but anyway, that's mental health. I was talking specifically about the VA, because there's a lot of shit that needs to be adjusted with that. But nobody fucking cares.
Well,
Nobody cares about you see a vet out there with a sign saying yo, I need help, and it's beyond just it's not just the PTSD. It's the domino effect of, this is what I went through. This is now what I'm going through. And it has had a detrimental effect throughout my life with various different things. Even Anti had admitted, when he first got out of his service, he got deep into his cups. and he half the time he doesn't even remember half the shit that he got, like, because he would just go and get himself like almost blackout drunk every night. That's an effect of PTSD. You know,
It is.
it's
It
one of the
really is.
various effects. So many people go through a variety of different things, and nobody truly fucking cares. Not really. Everybody's going through their own shit, and I understand that. But don't you try and fucking say, oh no, I really do care. It really does matter to me. Like, if it really did matter, then you'd be going out, like, you'd be rallying up, and you'd be trying to get our fucking leaders, our quote unquote leaders, our quote unquote body of the government that quote unquote cares about the American people, to actually help out the American people. And they're not doing it. Nobody's really doing shit because it's like, I'm fine.
Well, you know, the whole thing falls to this fucking slacktivism culture. They think, you know, if they put up, you know, a hashtag "We support our troops" or hashtag "Feed the homeless," or put up a post on Facebook that says "I care about it," you know, the homeless. It's like, yeah, okay, you care, but what are you doing about it? I mean, I can say right now, because of my personal situation, that I am incredibly thankful that there are churches and independent organizations that run food pantries to help keep me and my family fed. And anything I can do.
That's the curse of social media, in my opinion. I'm sorry to interrupt. That's the curse of social media. Social media nowadays has like gotten everyone to not really care about subjects and just a hashtag about it, or change the color of their profile picture to a certain flag. Like, how many times has there been a terrorist attack over in Europe and people are like, oh, we care about France. We care about this. Here's a French flag over my profile picture. Lame and gay.
I don't care about the French.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I just thought I'd make that.
Look, the thing is, and here's the most obnoxious part of this. Like, I've said, in different wording, all these same things, and apparently it's a massive controversial statement. I'm not fully understanding how it was controversial, really. And I was told after saying all that I was saying 9/11 itself was useless, which is hilarious because, like, technically it was. It's just not in the way. Like, if you think about it, like, terrorists got attacked back and got thrusted into a 13-year war, and instead of terrorizing people, they unified all of them. I mean, like, if I was arguing that 9/11 was useless, I would have a great case for it. And
well,
it would
you're making two mistakes on your Twitter. I'm going to point them out right now. I'm going to talk like your average smooth brain idiot that has a Twitter.
Okay.
So, like, I can speak as a common man. It wasn't the first or second tweet that done it. It was the 14 afterwards. You just kept pushing the point, man.
Well, I mean, like, are you saying it's because, like, low attention spans or something?
No, it wasn't quality. It wasn't quality. It was quantity that done you in. Because you had a few tweets about it.
By the way, good morning to Mad Dodge in the chat.
Well,
Hi, Mad
yeah,
Dodge.
and the thing is, for me, like, I was like, look, don't get me wrong. There was an element of edginess to it. Like, I think that point is obvious. But at the same time, like, I was just trying to, through the edginess, like, kind of make the point that nobody gives a fuck about underlying points to anything. I was trying to piss off specifically one side, which would be the right. The right, which is the side that says virtue signaling is bad. The right that says moral faggotry is bad. The right that says that civil discourse is the personification of society's socialness. I can't think of the proper word right now.
Oh no, I get the angle you're pulling. You're trying to piss off people that follow you, basically.
Yeah, right. And in all of that, every one of those things were violated in just 2 days. All of their principles they claim to have. One of which has explicitly stated multiple times that simply saying thoughts and prayers is practically of zero use, and that if you actually care, you should go help hurricane victims. Like, and they couldn't see that same point being applied here because it was more important to virtue signal than it was to actually grasp the point I was trying to get across. And then it was more important to focus on the little tiny edge rather than focusing on the underlying point.
Well,
and so yeah,
yes,
here's the.
I get that, but here's
okay. Here's the ultimate thing that let me know that we were way off course when the whole AIDS epidemic hit. They went the Academy Awards. I can't tell you when it was, but it was either late 90s or early aughts. Sharon Stone came up to announce one of the categories. She was wearing a ruby encrusted AIDS pin that was worth about $50,000.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
That's when I knew that all these people were completely missing the fucking point. They're not putting boots on the ground because all they need to do is say that they care. And people will say, oh, well, what great human beings. Fuck you. Go hawk that $50,000 and give it to a fucking homeless shelter. Or give it to a domestic abuse shelter. Or help buy books for a fucking school.
Now, Doc, you have to think about this, right? They had Alyssa Milano, right? At least she debated Ted Cruz and gun control. Now, she admitted, outside of her armed bodyguards and all that shit, that she owns 2 guns in her home for self-defense, as she's trying to strip that rights away from everyone else.
Oh my God, I saw that. Ah.
You were going to say, Kadant?
Everybody falls prey to certain hypocritical natures.
I don't.
At one point or another, you know, and if you're able to catch yourself and somebody points it out and you're reasonable enough, you'll be like, well, fuck, you're right. No, you're absolutely right. Like that was kind of hypocritical of me. I may have been like, you know, one way and then now I'm acting in another and blah 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 blah, whatever. And okay, fine. Hashtag not all. Vlad is perfection. We get it. But everybody falls prey to that because I've dealt with both the left and the right and people who claim to be centralists. You know, and they state one thing and this is what they're against and blah 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 blah. You know, like, I used to work in the food service industry, for Christ's sake, and I always hear the kind of horseshit where there's these fucking boomers and Gen Xers who are bitching about how rude kids are and blah 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 and all these damn millennials and they're just so sensitive, blah 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 blah. And you say anything at all against them. First off, they're cheap bucks. They really are. They're very much about like, you need to fight, like, I fucking hated them so bad. I wanted to punch way too many geriatrics in the face because it's just like, I had one old dude who would come in, you know, for a cup of coffee and like, it would be fresh brewed coffee that I just brew because it's like, he'd come in around like just before 6 a.m. So I'm like, I need to make sure I have a fresh pot of coffee at 6 a.m. So he'd come in right before 6 a.m. and he would just be like, this coffee is cold. And I'm like, okay, like, no problem. Like, I'll go and heat it up for you. No, I want a fresh pot. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. So I'll brew another fresh pot, which is fine because it's just like best for the morning rush kind of thing to brew to anyway. But I brew another one and he's like, are you sure this is a fresh pot? Because this is still cold and it tastes old to me. And I'd be like, I'm so sorry. Like, let me go and do that. He's like, no, I just want to order my food now. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I get it. You're like 60. So like you want things to be a certain way, and that's fine. You know, that's cool. And you want to be a douchebag to me? All right, I get it. You're probably you're at the point where you just don't want to deal with shit, and you know exactly how you want, and that's all right. Well, let's just fucking deal with you with a smile. I'd go and get his food, and he'd bitch about how his eggs are too cooked for being over medium, because the whites weren't runny enough, or some stupid horseshit, or how his bacon was not blackened, even though he asked for them well done, and I'm just like, okay, so you just want them burnt. Like, you should have just said you wanted them fucking burnt. Like, I get it. All right, just put your fucking teeth in, Grandpa, and just chew your goddamn food. Sure, sir, whatever you'd like. I'll go and fix that for you right away. And he'd come up with, like, a $10 meal, and then leave me, $1. Because thank you so much.
I have some general advice for you. General advice, and
don't deal with boomers and Gen Xers because they're all fucking douchebags.
That, and also like every human is a hypocrite to some extent or another. It's part of human nature.
Well,
that's exactly what I was talking about. Like everybody gets one of those moments, Everybody can be. I'm sorry, except for Perfect Vlad.
No,
we know you're
for
perfect.
the older generation, if you're working in the service industry, you have to smile on this because sooner or later, you're younger than them. You're going to get to dance on their grave if you choose to. You just got to pay attention to the obituaries.
Well, no, because when they hit their 60s and stuff, because I'm not there yet, they find out that they can no longer masturbate, so they have to take that fury energy out on somebody, and it usually ends up in the food service industry.
That's true. But I did want to say real quick on the hypocrisy thing. Like, first off, I don't think necessarily being hypocritical in a specific instance makes one a hypocrite. I think it's knowing or consistent hypocrisy that makes somebody a hypocrite.
I'm not saying that they are being hypocrites. I'm saying everybody has those moments,
I'm specifying this
except for you.
I'm specifying this to preface what I'm about to say.
Wait a minute, before you say it, good morning to Pinoid in the chat.
What up,
Pinoid? What up?
When I said hypocrisy, I thought Pinoid, and he arrived. How weird. But no, more importantly than that is the fact that whenever it comes to hypocrites, like, to me, in my opinion, by the way, I'm just joking, Pinoid, so don't get all like your panties in the bunch. But the thing is, when it comes to hypocrites, right, I consider those kind of people, like, hands down, the worst kind of person on the planet, even above pedophiles. Hands down the worst. And to me, like, I go out of my way to ensure that I am as least hypocritical as humanly possible. Because in my mind, if I'm being a hypocrite, that is like on par with a Catholic priest fucking a little boy.
I agree.
Like, I consider it that level of severity.
I will disagree, mostly because pedophiles are just absolutely horrendous.
Well, but they're
and
that's the point. Like, they're consistent. Like, at least they're not hypocritical about their paraphilia.
I feel gross now, and I need an adult.
I am an adult, but no.
What's worse than a pedophile is a person that is a pedophile and also a hypocrite, a Catholic priest.
You guys will hear some 70s rock in a second. I apologize.
Now,
mute yourself.
Yeah, it sounds like 1980s porno music right there. But yeah, no, for me, like, I do that for myself to keep myself as consistent as I can possibly be. And I hold every living, breathing person to that exact same standard.
I can understand what you're trying to get at, but at the same time, like, holding people to a standard that you hold yourself to is not fair because everybody is different. And I like, what's it? I've been called hypocritical before because even though I can't stand a motherfucker, or I'll be pissed off or whatever. If I'm there with them, I'll be cordial. I'll be friendly. I'll even have a laugh with them. Like I don't care. I'll even talk all soft and quiet and nice and not turn cunt mode on until I get sick and tired of shit. But even then, like and to me, like that is a form of hypocrisy on my end, and I'm not going to deny it because fuck it. Like there's certain forms that I think are necessary.
Yeah, I mean, like, so okay, this is where I hate Pinoid right now, and I mean that in the best way. So essentially, so like I do agree that everybody like has a hypocritical element, and this is what sucks because I try to go out of that and I try to strive against it. But he pointed out one thing that I can't be consistent on, and that is the inherent truth that being a parent is inherently hypocritical in the parenting stage. So if you think about it,
do as I say, not as I do. That's
exactly,
the essence of being a parent.
Yeah, like you have to like did you like I had sex when I was 16. I'll be damned if my daughter does.
Yeah, exactly. And I have a daughter too and a son. It's weird in that aspect because, like, here's the thing: how my father. I didn't have any daughters growing up. Like, I imagine my father react to this situation. Take for example, my son comes to me at 16 and be like, "Hey, I just banged my girlfriend in the back of my car." I'm probably gonna slap his hand and be like, "Good job, bud. Good for you." But if my daughter came to me that 16, I'm like, "Where does this motherfucker live? Who's his parents? They're all dead." There's really no ifs or buts, It's just how that's going to work. That's going to be that natural reaction. And I'll tell you why. Okay, with a son, only dick you have to worry about when it comes to your son is his dick. But when you have a daughter, you have to worry about every other dick on the face of the planet.
Yeah. And now Pinoid apparently didn't catch that I agreed with him.
Well, how about this? We all say Mandela effect, and we get Pinoid in here. Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Mandela effect.
By the way, Kadant, I got a question for you. Like back in the day, when the Greeks were just tooling around.
Yeah. So when you were a teenager.
Yeah. Yeah. What did they call Hippocrates? I mean, apparently he's the guy who started it, right? It's just one of those.
They started calling him a hippie first.
Yeah, it's like you're such a you. All right, that's all. That's the only joke I have. It's a bad joke.
That was a horrible dad joke.
I didn't even get it. It went right over my head.
Thank God. You feel yourself gifted, okay?
Yeah. Okay. So you ever heard of Not Your Father's Root Beer?
Yes.
Not your father's what?
Root beer.
That's what I'm drinking.
Alcoholic root beer.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Dude, you can make a root beer float out of that shit. It's so bomb.
Holy fuck! I never thought of that.
Wait.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. Actually, Doc, do you have a panel question?
I was just wondering if you guys know how to make a dead baby float.
Yeah, you put it in a blender and add ice cream.
No, you just leave it in the tub under like 2 inches of water and let nature.
I just want to respond to Tom Leach. Sorry, real quick. That's some ignorant bullshit. Hey, you can try to take responsibility for your son's dick, but just like you, Tom, as a teenage years, and myself and everyone else who has a dick, we don't control our dicks, and we will eventually stick it in crazy. Now, it's trying to get them through that storm. Afterwards.
All right,
So
hold on.
There's a middle ground between these 2 points, actually, that is pretty fair. So, on one level, you are responsible for your son's dick, but in my opinion, that is primarily in so much as, hey, practice safe sex and don't get the bitch pregnant. And then if you get somebody pregnant, then is there some level of responsibility on you if he doesn't have a job yet?
True, but we've all been teenagers here with dicks, except for Kadant. Now, how many times you about to go crazy and you're thinking
you're assuming she never had dick when she was a teenager.
You're right. I am.
I am. I'm
I
super
definitely,
Rude.
I definitely had dick. It just wasn't my own.
Rubber dickies.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm saying though, every male in this chat, even gaming. Okay, we have all fucked crazy at one point, right?
Go fuck
We've all
yourself.
I've ever
Hey,
had sex
gaming, you know
with.
you love me. You know you love me, gaming.
No.
Every woman I've ever fucked.
Yes. Now, how many times
Life.
did you fuck crazy and you stop and think, what would my dad say as you're fucking crazy? Which means you don't.
My dad always gave me a high five.
All right, as a woman, as the resident vagina in this stream right now, sorry, gaming, your asshole doesn't count as a vagina.
It's a
Neither does
mangina.
mouth,
Yes,
even
yes,
though they're
you-
both fucking amazing.
Mm.
But
Hey, wait, hold on, stop, hold on. You like it in the butt?
anyway,
Yeah, it's a serious question. You said they're both amazing. Anyway, sorry.
no, I was talking about gaming. Anyway, as the current, I actually identify as a female.
Okay.
Every man who has had sex with a woman has stuck their dick in crazy. It's just different levels and variations of crazy.
Yeah.
All of us are fucking crazy. Just like all men are stupid in their own ways.
I think
all men are stupid,
people
all women are crazy. Like there's no ins and outs about it. Like I'm not going to try and sugarcoat any of that shit. Guys can be stupid, just various different levels of stupid. Like there's some guys who are stupid enough to, stick their dick in uber crazy.
No,
and
anal glands
continue
take
to do
offense
so,
that.
Tom Pinoy.
I'm cute. I'm cute stupid, sir. I am cute stupid. There's a difference.
But no, I wasn't meaning Ed like that. I was actually going to say something to you. Sorry.
Oh,
no, I
it's
was
all
gonna
good.
say-
Actually, I found out why I'm getting kicked out of Discord. It's when I check other Discords that I get kicked out.
Well, I was just going to say, like, in response to what you said earlier about what would your dad think, I can even put it in more of a point that, like, I didn't actually lose my virginity until I was 16. And my dad thought, because of that, all the years, or several of the years prior to that I would just never get laid. So, like, when he found out that I lost my virginity, he gave me a hug.
A hug?
Yeah, it's the only time he's ever given me a hug in my life.
Oh, dude, I feel bad and like I kind of feel bad for you at the same time, but at the same time, that's kind of cool. Like my dad was a very good dad. Like he
was
showed me
like,
affection.
"Oh my god, I can't believe this ugly piece of shit got laid. I love you, son. I'm so proud."
No, it was more like, oh my god, thankfully it wasn't me.
Right?
Oh.
No, my God. My dad is a man whore, right? So every time I've ever gotten in a relationship, he's like, why don't you just dump the bitch and find somebody else?
See, like my first time was in the back. I was 16 too. It was the back of a New Yorker, a Lambo, a Lincoln New Yorker. It was
Why
a
not a
fucking
New
Lambo.
Jerseyan? Why not a New Jerseyan?
It had no shocks. I took this bitch out to a softball park, and we fucked in the back of my car, and she was full of crazy. I mean, full of crazy. She was 3 years older than me. She was 19. I was 16. She was that older, more mature woman at that time. And how much I laugh about that now, looking back, even more so. But I remember telling my dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he gave me a high five. And then he told my mom, and she cried. It was a weird situation.
My mom laughed.
By the way, good morning to Cullen McLeod in the chat.
Hi, Cullen McLeod.
But
What's
I have
up,
to
Colin?
say,
Colin's my boy. What's up, Colin?
I have a question, Kadun.
Yes.
Does preacher's daughters count as uber crazy?
Yes.
Yeah, obviously. Are you serious? They're
Yes,
the daughters of a religious zealot? Like, fucking A, right?
Dude, a preacher's daughter will fuck you in her dad's bed just to piss off her dad. I've dated a few of them.
Well, the person I lost my virginity to had the purity ring thing going, and
she lost that quick.
No, she never actually lost her vaginal virginity. Just her ass.
Oh, so you went like your first time was anal?
Yes, it's amazing.
Oh my god, do you know what that reminds me of?
I swear to God, if you say gaming, I'm gonna get mad.
We're butt
Obviously
buddies.
gaming too.
We're butt buddies.
Yay! But no, it reminds me of the Garfunkel and Oates song.
Oh God.
Oh fuck!
Mhm.
What is it? What is it, please?
Fuck me in the ass because I love Jesus.
Oh my God. Yes, that's like that. Yeah. Actually, yes. That's like she'd take it in the ass and blow your load, but she wouldn't take it in the vag. It was the weirdest fucking thing ever. And
Well,
So she
yeah,
tends to
because
the
as
pooper
long
shooter,
as
but
your
that's a baby
hymen's
maker.
intact, you're still pure.
exactly. But the best part is too, she was dating the host of the party, and he wouldn't fuck her. In fact, quote, "Get away from me, bitch," because he was tired. He wanted to sleep. Right. I have the lucky curse of always being that guy that's wide the fuck awake at a party while everybody else is asleep, because alcohol is like fucking meth to me. So I was just wide the fuck awake, and I was just the only option.
Yeah, you're really playing that up.
Good
Good on you.
Up.
Oh, yeah, you were like literally the last man on earth. No,
Yeah, it's
I
great.
wouldn't be proud of that.
I no, it's okay. I'm okay with it. I'm not proud of that part, just the anal part. Like, because after that, I just I just kind of like girls that I potentially date now just lose a little bit of point for not wanting to take it in the ass.
So,
You know, like,
gaming, how was he?
Mediocre at
oh my
best.
God, fuck off. Anyway, the point is no, I mean, like, it's just whatever. And then I dated a preacher's daughter like a few
That's not
years
what he
later.
said at first.
So, huh?
It's not what you said at first.
I was talking about years later.
Exactly.
So, I've been with two. It's the second one was worse than the first, because the first one was I just had sex with her and she went away. The second one was just some chick that I was dating for a while, and it turned out she just wanted to fuck me because I was prescribed oxycodones.
Oh, and you were awake.
Well, not the second chick. No, like, it was just that I just had oxys. That's it. Fucking cunt.
So
whenever
the first bitch you fucked you because you were the only one awake, and then the
Yeah.
second bitch you fucked.
Well, that was the second bitch I fucked. That was like way later. But the second
You know,
preacher's
it's-
daughter I fucked.
The second
sounded better in my track
preacher's bitch you fucked you for drugs.
Yes. Welcome to
It
Missouri.
sounds about right. It sounds about right, Adel. Edu Vlad. I'm sorry, I'm fucking up your name right now. But like, it
You
sounds
said it
better in my
right.
track line.
Yeah, you said it right.
Like, I fucked one chick, and then my second chick I fucked ended up being the mother of two kids. Third chick I fucked was her cousin after we broke up, and I sent pictures
hot.
to. I sent pictures to my ex of me fucking her cousin, because I was in that spiteful mood. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, look at this bitch. Sarah does it doggy style.
So the only threesome that I ever had the opportunity to do, I turned down. And a lot of people like freak out over that. Like, there were these two really hot chicks too, like minimum 7, And I completely turned it down because one of the two was the other one's cousin. They were cousins.
Oh, yeah, that's
And-
like mixing.
Yeah, and it was just like, I mean, granted, I'm not the one incesting here, but like at the same time, why? So it was just like, no, and I didn't do. My dad got very, very, very mad at me because he's never had a threesome.
Your
And-
dad, the bed whore, never had a
Yeah,
threesome.
he's never had, and he was like trying to live vicariously through me for like 5 minutes, and I was just like, and I'm like, I turned it down though, and he got so fucking pissed off, called me an idiot, and asked if I was gay. I was like, what? Like,
No,
you know,
you're not gay. You're being a sensible male, and I'll tell you why. If you're in a relationship, a long-term relationship, and the woman asks you for a threesome, never say yes, because I'm gonna pull Star Wars right now. It's a fucking trap. It's a fucking trap, and I'll explain why. I will explain why in great detail right now. Because, like, okay, if you have a long-term girlfriend, fiance, etc., etc., you have a long-term, even say fuck buddy. I don't even go with, like, today's terminology. We're a fucked up generation, all right? You have that. You have that. All right. For one thing, if she's gonna pick out another woman to have a threesome with, that woman will have to be slightly less attractive than her, so she doesn't feel threatened by it. But as a man, on that situation for you, now you don't act like you're that enthused about that. You're boring. You're boring. You're not trying. But if you act too enthused and too into it, you're considering her not be attractive enough for you. And that plays into the physical acts of things. So no matter what you do in that situation, it's going to blow up in your fucking face.
I don't know what to think of Pinoid anymore. And I heard everything you said, by the way, but what he said was just like, why? He just literally wrote that he fucked a mom and daughter once.
Pinoid is a real motherfucker.
I didn't fuck a mom and daughter at the same time. They were at separate times, but
well, that's different. And he said he was referring to threesome specifically, and that's just like.
Listen, fucking your mom and sister doesn't necessarily count. Okay.
Oh shit! Good God.
You have a point there, Kanan.
Actually, Pinoid had the point. That was the problem.
Hey, all I know is when the world ends, I'm tracking down Pinoid. We're building trebuchets, and we're gonna be fucking fleeing commies off acres of land.
Fuck that! If the world ends, I'm raping them. Like, just fuck all the rest of that shit. I'm just gonna rape it.
You know, Kadan, I was going to do a panel question about cherry popping, but I think I would be severely disappointed in this panel.
Just ask.
Oh, Doc.
Actually, I've taken a girl's virginity once. That was fun. Not really.
I've had a stalker.
Doc, ask the question.
No. What age did you pop your cherry? And we will start at the top of the list, Vlad.
16.
Okay.
When I lost my virginity.
When you lost your virginity and it can't be to your hand or to an uncle.
Yeah. Not to an uncle. Okay. 18. Sorry, I'm kidding.
Okay, Ed.
Oh, okay. To answer both those questions, never had the uncle experience. 14 was to my hand. It was magical. It was in a shower. 16 was a back of a New Yorker with a crazy bitch named Brandy who was 19. And then she stalked me.
Oh.
Claim I had a baby with her. When it turned out she had a urinary tract infection.
Yeah, kind of the same thing. Every so often. By the way, good morning and welcome to the stream, Tom.
Yo, what up, man? I gotta be real quiet because I don't want to wake my babies up. But
No,
I gotta,
hey.
what up? What up, right,
Pinoy?
I gotta say this right now. All right, legitimately, all y'all is bitches, and anytime you have a chance to fuck two bitches, you do what you gotta do. Quit being pussies.
I can't hear you. You're gonna have to speak louder, Pinoid. I can't hear you.
Yeah,
No, he's got babies. He's got his kids around. Don't make him wake his kids.
Yo, like I've taken the chance and it was boring. Like, well, it was boring for me. Like, I didn't get off. I had to do all the work though.
Now, can you see how I can say it's a trap though? Can you understand how I can say it's a trap?
Yeah, let me tell you like this though. Never trade your